Hi, everyone. It's Tita. I'm one of the lead volunteers with HDBNQ Rescue. Welcome to part 3 of foster orientation. This section is on rules and responsibilities. This is the third time I'm recording this, so we're going to do our best to just power through it here. First of all, thank you so much for changing these animals' lives. You have such an important responsibility by giving these animals a safe and caring and loving place for them until we're able to find their forever homes. So thank you once again for opening your hearts and homes to all of these animals. Moving on to housekeeping. Just as a reminder, all fosters must have signed the dog foster agreement and the cat foster agreement. And after you have signed that, you will receive an electronic copy of all of the foster rules, so you can reference that if you have any questions. It's important to remember that the foster animals belong to HDBNQ Rescue. And what this means is that if you or someone you know is very seriously interested in adopting one of the animals that you are fostering, they need to immediately fill out an application. And if you want to give us a heads up, that would be great as well. Just because you are fostering an animal doesn't mean that you would get like first dibs or priority on your foster pet. There could be a great application in the pipeline. There could be a family that's absolutely perfect for an animal that you're fostering. And if that's the case, we don't want to tell that applicant after they've gone through, the entire process, say, oh, the foster decided to keep the pet. So if you are interested in adopting your foster animal, please make sure to fill out an application and let us know so that we can manage everybody's expectations accordingly. And of course, we always love when you tell other people about the pets. And if they're interested in adopting, again, they can go to the website that is linked here in this QR code so that we know that they're interested, and feel free to put in a good word for those applicants as well. So before we dive too much into the rules and responsibilities, let me talk about some of the foster resources available to you. So you can access the foster resources section of our website by going to hdbnqrescue.org. On the top menu, hover over foster and then choose I am a foster. You can also go directly to the login page, if you will, and you can do that by going to hdbnqrescue.org/foster contact. That page is gated, and the password for that page is catdog. Once you've entered in that password, you'll see on the right a page that says get in touch. And that is now you're within the foster resources section, and I'll explain what information is there. Once you've arrived at this page, you can scroll down and then you'll see the screen to the far right, and there's a form that you can fill out there to request additional supplies. Please, 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 please give us a couple of days notice that you need something. It may take us a day or two to check the email, a day to place the order, and it may take a day or two for the orders to arrive. So as much notice as you're able to give us is fantastic. And in some cases, depending on the supplies and what we have in our inventory, you may be able to pick up those supplies at our headquarters, which is located in Pacifica. Those are not the only foster resources we have. So if you recall, when you first logged into that foster page, the foster section, there is a box where it says click here if you are an established foster. That brings you to another page with many quick links. It talks about some of the different medications we may use, a lot of additional resources. It's certainly not required reading. You may find some of that information helpful to explore in your free time. If you are navigating through this part of the site and you see a password prompt, the password catdog should work for you. All right, digging in some more to the foster rules and responsibilities. Thank you for fostering again. And when it comes to your availability, please let us know as soon as possible if you can't continue to foster, because we need to find new accommodations for them. And this can take a couple of days, so as much advance notice as you're able to give us is very much appreciated. When it comes to vet appointments and adoption events, you're responsible for bringing your pets to adoption events and vet appointments. We give as much notice as possible. Those adoption events happen on the weekends at Pet Food Express in Lindemar and in Daly City. And we will be able to share what that schedule looks like for you so you can know when to pick up and drop off your pet to those events. And their scheduled vet appointments are extremely important as well. And I'll explain a little bit more about that as we continue. Just know that those vet appointments, we actually have very little control as to when those spay and neuter surgeries are scheduled. To be most economical, we take advantage of things like a mobile spay neuter services, and also getting as many pets as possible in on the same day. And so we will give you as much advance notice as possible, and we will work with you to make sure that we can get those pets to their spay and neuter appointments. When it comes to all the supplies that you receive, please make sure to clean all of those supplies in between litter or pets that you have, also and before returning them to us. And if you won't be fostering again with us soon, then please return all of those supplies. We have very limited funds, and medical expenses are the greatest, it's our greatest expense. So being able to not have to spend money on those supplies is fantastic if those supplies aren't being used. If you're looking for more details, you should definitely watch all of these other orientation videos, and you can refer to your dog foster agreement or that cat foster agreement for more details. That is a legal document, so there's a lot more legalese in there, but it's still really helpful information. And of course, as with all of the videos, if you have any questions on anything at all, you can email us at leadfoster@hdbnqrescue.org and include orientation in the subject line, so I make sure to look at your email. Continuing on with some of those foster rules and responsibilities, a big part of that is general health monitoring. So as you all know, foster animals, they come from a variety of places. They might be strays. They might have come from another foster home as well. And it's very important when they first arrive in your home, especially if they are strays or if they've just arrived from the shelter, keep them separated from other pets in your household to minimize any germs or illnesses being spread around. And then after they have been separated from them for at least a week, you can begin to introduce them to other pets in the household. And if you have questions on how to go about doing that, please let us know. When it comes to introducing pets to others in the household, the rules are going to be different for dogs and cats versus having litters of kittens and puppies. So those litters of kittens and puppies should be kept together and with their mama for as long as possible. Things to look out for are any discharge in the eyes, ears, nose, sneezing, coughing, any irregular urine or bowel movements, diarrhea, change in appetite, change in energy level or behavior. As you're noticing this, just give us a text on the foster line, and so we'll let you know if there's supplements or medication or et cetera that we can give to help with those kittens or puppies. Pretty common for them to arrive with some eye discharge or some, or having some minor health issues that can be corrected. Please make sure to keep track of the kittens and puppies' weights. The most important thing that informs us about their health is that those newborn, those little tiny kittens and puppies, they need to always be gaining weight. They also need to weigh at least 2 pounds before they can be spayed or neutered. If any of the animals in your care stops gaining weight or begins to lose weight, please let us know right away. We want to make sure that we can keep them healthy and keep them growing. If you do have puppies who haven't yet had their vaccinations, you are not allowed to walk them in any public places. They are not safe from many diseases that may be afoot. So you will have received this information as to whether or not the puppies can have walks when you pick them up. And if you're not sure, just text us to ask. It is extremely helpful for us to have pictures and to learn about your foster pets' personalities. We use this information to kind of promote those animals on social media, to build their adoption profiles, and to help them find their forever homes. There is another video after this one that goes into a little bit more detail on how you can help us share some really good information to help us create to help us make a great profile. Let's dig into medical care for a moment. Some of our lead volunteers have previous and or current veterinary experience. This is very, very helpful for us given the rescue work that's happening. We have medications and supplements on hand, and we also are working with designated partner vets in the Bay Area. Doing these two things helps keep our costs down, which is critical because it leaves more money for other medical emergencies, which happens every single year. Every single month, sometimes it seems like. Veterinary expenses must be approved by HDBNQ. So if for some reason you're like, I don't, my cat fell down and he is limping, you need to let us know, and you can't just take that animal to the vet without prior approval, because if you don't have that approval from us, then you will be responsible for that vet bill. So give us a text on the foster line for any questions related to, well, really to anything, but if there's anything veterinary or medical coming up, and we will help, we'll help you manage that. In the event of a life-threatening emergency, life-threatening meaning that you do not believe that your foster animal will survive without immediate medical care, please text and call Melissa. Even though it's an emergency situation, we still have to be able to authorize that care, and we need to be able to make that decision. So should an emergency happen, please get in touch with Melissa. We have had a few emergencies, but they're not very common, and it's much more common for us to be able to resolve a lot of those issues just via texting or contact over that foster line. I mentioned earlier about the spay and neuters, not knowing, we don't have a lot of control over the date. And so this is an example where we had a bunch of people just dropping off all of these animals for the spay and neuter day. And Melissa drove them out to get spayed and neutered, and then it drove back that same day. So it's really important to keep those appointments. We pay for those appointments in advance, and we want to make sure that we are able to utilize the appointments that we have to get these animals fixed. Moving on to expenses. I know that rules and responsibilities isn't the most fun section, so thank you for bearing with me. HDBNQ provides all supplies, so that's food, litter, puppy pads, leash, collar, harness, etc. If you are low on supplies, please request the supplies at the website that's listed below. Again, that password is CatDog, and if you don't recall the website, if you go a little bit back in this video, we talked through how you can use that form to request additional supplies. And if you please give us advance notice to allow us time to get those supplies to you. There may be times where we do not have, it will be faster for you to get whatever that supply is. And there are instances where we will reimburse you, but we will only reimburse you for those pre-approved expenses, and you will need to provide a receipt to us in order to receive reimbursement. Of course, donations are 100% optional, but if you do choose to buy supplies, treats, etc. for your foster pets, and you want that purchase to be a donation, you can save your receipts for your tax filing purposes. And if you are purchasing toys or something like that, you can keep those for your future, any future foster pets. If you would like to make a monetary donations, I have included our Zelle and Venmo links here. But what about free stuff? All of the screenshots you see here are free things that I have collected from Facebook groups over the past year. Those pictures are probably the past couple of months. So hop on those groups. If you see, maybe there's beds or there's kennels or there's toys, sometimes there's treats. Those seem to be the most common items that are available. You can snag those items. You can use them for your foster pets. Sometimes I'll snag stuff, and if I don't use it, I'll go ahead and I'll donate those things. Now, free stuff is wonderful, but make sure you clean everything, especially anything that's cloth or fabric covered, to make sure that you just don't want anything, just don't want germs or bugs or critters or anything else in your house. And so all those dog beds and everything I toss, and any if there's dog or cat toys or stuffed animals, I just throw those in the washing machine. So here are a couple of places where you might be able to score some free supplies. Once again, thank you so much for being part of our foster community. And I'm leaving you here with several different resources, where you can contact us for questions. You can watch the other orientation videos. There are other volunteer opportunities if you have an inkling to do even more than the great foster work you're doing already. You can also join our Facebook group. Thanks for listening.